So I'm going to be making some Janny Cakes. So in the Caribbean, what I'm going to be making are going to be called different things. So Jamaica, they're called Fried Dumplings. In Trinidad, they're called bakes, and in places such as St. Kitts, they're called Janny Cakes or Johnny Cakes. So I'm going to be making these. These are kind of like a really good bread alternative. So what I've got here, I've got some self-raising flour. Now I'm very intuitive when I'm cooking, so I don't measure things out, but as a guide you might want to do like 200 grams of flour. So I'm just going to pour some in my bowl, and I'm going to season it. I'm going to season my flour with just a pinch of salt. I don't want too much, maybe 1/4 teaspoon, and then I'm going to add in again 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper just to give it flavour, and also a pinch of all-purpose seasoning. Now traditionally you would just put salt in here, but you know, you can develop this as you want. So I like to add those 3 ingredients, but traditionally it's just salt. I have made these where I've put mixed herbs in before, and you can even put things like cinnamon and nutmeg to give it like a sweet flavour. Okay, so now that that's all mixed, I'm going to just make little hole like so in my flour. You can see there it's just got a space, and I'm just taking some warm water from the kettle, and I'm just going to pour it into that little well just so that it's spilling over the top, and then I'm just going to mix this. So just all mix it all well together, and whilst this is mixing, I've got some oil on the pan that is just warming, just heating up. You can brush these with oil and pop them in the air fryer, or you can brush them with oil and put them in the oven, like to make bakes like Trinidadians often do. But today I'm gonna fry them off. So just adding a little bit more water because we want a dough-like consistency with this. And here I'm making soup in my soup maker. So this is going to be for my lunch today, which is Janny Cake and vegetable soup. So now that this is starting to form, my hands are clean, and I'm just going to get in there and I'm just going to form this into a dough. If it's really crumbly, just add a drop more water, but if it's too sticky, just add a little bit more flour. And it's always best to just go a tiny bit at a time, just so you know you stay in control of your dough. So this is coming together really nicely. So this type of food, like the Janny Cakes, just is a taste of my youth and growing up. We always had Janny Cakes, like how people always have bread in their house. We always had Janny Cakes, always. My mother would make big batches of these on a Saturday and sometimes in the week, and they were there to have with dinner, especially with soup. But also if we just wanted a snack as well, we would just have Janny Cakes. We'd cut them, we would fill them with all sorts of ingredients like corned beef or saltfish or mackerel, all sorts of things we would do with them. So I've just done my first one. Now I'm going to go through it again and show you what I do. So I just literally pull off a small amount, maybe a golf ball size. You can make these whatever size you want, and I'm just rolling it in my hands like so. So if you're doing Jamaican fried dumplings, you would take that and you would drop it in your oil and you would fry it. But as we're doing Janny Cakes, we've got it rolled, and then what we're going to do, we're just going to, with our thumb, we're just going to flatten that, okay, and we're just going to press all the way out and flatten these, and there we go, and that's our Janny Cake. And I'm probably going to get 4 out of this. Just give it a roll, just going to flatten that centre and then just press out. And there we go. And because we've used self-raising flour, this is going to rise a little bit, so we can make them, you know, fairly flat. I'll show you in a moment the thickness of how flat we want them. So we'll probably, there you go. So it's probably 1/2 inch thick, roughly. Okay. So we're going to cook these off now, so come with me. So guys, here's my pot with the oil, and it's been gently warming, and it is on a low heat. I don't know if you can see that there. So I'm going to keep it on the low heat, but I've got a tiny little bit of flat dough. I'm just going to drop it in, and as you can see, it's fizzing, so I know then it's ready, the oil is ready. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of my Janny Cakes, I'm just going to put my fork through it just to create an air hole, and I'm just going to drop that in. I'm going to do it with all of them. And just piercing it, just like with anything, if you're making pies or anything, it just lets the air to get in, and also to circulate and help to cook the centre. So I'm going to leave that to fry just really gently for a couple of minutes on each side. So guys, you can see that these are beautifully cooked. They're golden brown on both sides. So these are now done, so ready to come out of the pan. So guys, that is how you make Janny Cakes, or Johnny Cakes if you're from St. Kitts. But it's the same ingredient and method if you want to do fried dumplings. Okay guys, thank you so much for being here with me today, and I'll see you very soon.